C-SPAN's microphone is still on. Keep mine on? Okay.
There's a lot that goes on to get this pulled together. And
yes, it's worth it.
You had to really move a whole radio
Well, we have
here.
30 seconds. We have absolute wizard staff, and Gary, most brilliant of outside of the studio engineer. I think he hates being in the studios because they keep sending him places. Last time we were together was in the monsoon-like conditions of Florida. And Lyle, of course, who's coordinating and putting it all together, and Bill Leonard, in publicity and promotion, and my heavens.
Thank you.
First time. Yeah, my wife, first time coming to watch me do a radio show in many, many, many years, and her school-time buddy, Dorothy. Now, how many more seconds before we're on? Will I hear the theme?
There we go.
To the mid-80s. Next KABC News is coming up at 9:30, or when it happens. From the KABC 24-hour newsroom, I'm Zoe Walrond.
You've heard the news. Now, it's time to talk about it with Michael Jackson on Talk Radio 790 KABC, where Southern California comes to talk.
Good morning to you from the nation's capital, from the very heart of D.C., from the old executive mansion, the White House. It is now 9:09 on Monday, October 21st. My name is Michael Jackson, and you're tuned to Talk Radio 790 KABC. Hello there, and welcome. It is a spectacular day. Autumn is in evidence everywhere. The temperatures are in the upper 50s, the lower 60s. The sky is clear. The air is brisk. I had a feeling that's how it would be. Actually, this meeting began on a morning, perhaps a year ago, when the First Lady was a guest in the KABC studios, at the end of which the invitation was offered to pack up, bring the microphones, and set up a studio at the White House and elsewhere. And I've been looking forward to this opportunity for a very long while. And the visit has turned into a 3-day. Tomorrow, we're going to be on Capitol Hill at the House of Representatives, where it will be a very Republican Party-laden program. One of our guests, apparently we've just nearly confirmed, it seems we have confirmed Elizabeth Dole. Some great guests. On day 3, I will be ensconced with my colleagues broadcasting from the ABC Radio and Television News headquarters not too far from here. But I feel very privileged to spend this hour in company with the First Lady of the land. Our guest is Hillary Rodham Clinton. Our phone number, wherever you are, 1-800-222-KABC. Good morning.
Good morning, Michael, and welcome to the White House. Welcome to Washington.
Are you still thrilled by being here?
I am. I still get goosebumps when I often walk into the house late at night and it's all lit up, or when my husband and I sometimes wander around the state floors and look at all of the portraits and think about the history that has happened here. Yes, I do.
First thing this morning, while getting ready to come, I turned on television and there was a recruiting commercial for the Army, and the theme was, be all that you can be. Has being the First Lady made that possible for you, or has it stifled you?
Oh, I think it's been an incredible opportunity. It has given me the chance to meet people I never would have met, go places like Bosnia, and then to have an event like we had this morning before the radio show, trying to do something to help the people of Bosnia. It's a front row seat on history being made. It has been an extraordinary opportunity.
You and your husband are, I know, deeply religious. Over these past 4 years, you've seen life at its most, and at its least, mingled with the very richest and the most privileged, and Lord knows you've enjoyed being the First Lady. But have you also seen in your travels hunger and famine and disaster and disease and abject poverty, and said to yourself, why God?
Oh, I think anyone with eyes to see and an openness to the human experience asks themselves that sometime during their life. And, there's so much that is troubling in the world today. There always has been, going back as far as we know anything about human history. So although I do get occasionally concerned, frustrated, I don't ultimately ever get discouraged. And I felt that way this morning. Here we were unveiling a new program to help warn children in places like Bosnia against landmines. And in the audience were 2 men who had themselves suffered serious injuries from landmines as members of the American military over the years. There were children, refugee children from Bosnia. But at the same time, there was a great deal of excitement about this effort that we're undertaking, using Superman as the character. And then also we had a partnership between hospitals in Buffalo, New York, and Tuzla in Bosnia. And I was in Tuzla because that's where the American headquarters of our forces are. And I tell the story often because I can't get it out of my mind of listening to people tell me what life was like during that terrible war. But here we were this morning with people of good faith coming together to try to make it better. So
landmines. Just before we came on the air, we were talking to students in Los Angeles at college level and at grade school level about landmines. Right. And we're going to speak with them via the internet a little later this hour because they're all watching and tuned in. But how many millions do we estimate there are in this world?
Well, the figure used this morning was somewhere between 80 and 100 million landmines in places as far-flung as Cambodia, Angola, El Salvador, Bosnia. And you were telling me, Michael, about your experience as a young boy during World War II. Because as you can see on this cover of the Superman comic that we hope to get very widely distributed throughout Bosnia, children are naturally curious. You know, they're going to want to see what something is if they see it lying in a field. And even worse are all of the mines that are not visible. This morning, some of the stories that were told about children who live in the blind school in Sarajevo not being able to go to the school because the area is still too mined. I heard so much of that when I was in Bosnia. And this is something that we need to be very concerned about.
The story I told you is a typical one. As a very young child, towards the end of World War II, when things became